On this episode of Sally's Speed Shop, we do a dingle ball rebuild in my garage and then road trip the Green Hornet cross country all the way to LA just to drive it back to Tucson for the zip tie drags. And then we go back to LA where I'm moving. Yeah, it's a lot of driving. Jacob Davis here, and we're back with the Green Hornet. It's been a minute since y'all have seen it because I took it down to my place and tore the motor out because I could not justify putting nitrous on such a worn old motor. So we're rebuilding it. We're gonna put it back in the car and take it up to Mike's place again and put nitrous on it and hopefully do some burnouts for you guys. So over here we have the Green Hornet under the knife. The motor's been liberated from the engine bay and you can see some of that original red paint because it was a California car. And then you can look into the engine bay and see that there's a bunch of room for activities and a little bit of rigging to hold the transmission in place. But look at that, the torque converter was painted the original AMC teal, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to clean that up, paint the motor up after I re-ring it and put some new bearings in it. Then I get to bolt on a few goodies. It's been a few days since you last saw me. It was a bit of a fiasco with Mike needing his engine hoist and my engine not fitting on my engine stand, so I had to modify the engine stand a little bit, make it work. I need to buy my own hoist, Chinese of course, from Harbor Freight. And now you're witnessing the first time these have come together, and I'm just hoping that the 6-cylinder can be supported by that engine stand and doesn't fall on its face. So we'll see. Resembles success. Personally, I've never put an inline 6 on an engine stand. It's always been V8s. Because who messes with inline 6s anyway? So this long block, I'm really worried about it being front heavy, breaking the bolts out of the back, breaking the casting of the block, all kinds of things. So we're going to see what happens. We're probably going to end up hanging it from the front at some point just to make sure it doesn't fall while I'm not here. But look at that, time for a rebuild. I've got the head off the block and taken the oil pan off and given the motor a good once over, and it's in reasonably good shape other than the fact that it's really dirty. I mean, see just the grime and buildup on the pistons themselves. The oil passages are all gunked up, and the main issue that I've found is that the valve seals are actually so old and worn out that they cracked. You probably can't see them in here, but they've cracked and spread throughout the entire motor. So all these pieces down here in the oil pan are actually pieces of the valve seal. So I'm going to have to clean the motor out really good to make sure they don't get anywhere important. But for now I'm about to run the head off to the machine shop and get some new springs and stuff put in, and should be good from there on out. So, I've been taking the motor apart and finally got the timing cover off and the crank pulley. And look at the slack in this timing chain. Go ahead. I've been driving all over the country with that. That's slightly terrifying. But, oh well, let's fix it. All right, so got the block torn all the way down. There's nothing left in it. It is a bare block. And the workbench is covered in very organized parts. So here are all my pistons, and then there's the crankshaft, and then we have lifters and rod end caps and main caps and all the bolts, and they're all labeled accordingly. And over here we have the camshaft. Might make a lamp or something out of it. I think it'd be cool. Oil pump, distributor, valve cover, which will not be reused because it's getting a chrome one. Then you have the head and the oil pan, and that's basically it. Motor's blown all the way apart, and now it's time to change all the bearings and put new seals in it and get it back on the road. Another little status update for you guys. Just spent tonight with my buddy James over here. Another wagon fella. He has a Tercel wagon.
Yes.
It's cool. It reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite.
It's not that cool, but
it's coolish. We just spent tonight Scotch briding. So look, our hands are all filthy and gross, but all the parts are scuffed, and I'm gonna wipe them down with some acetone and get the grease off of them and paint them tomorrow. Engine block is back and nice and cleaned up. No more grease in it at all. The sides are all scuffed and ready for paint. We got a bunch of goodies. Chrome valve cover, that's going on. My buddy Chris sent me that. Look forward to putting it on the motor. And yeah, a little bit more to do. Who needs sleep, right? Stay tuned. All right, another update for you guys. After Scotch briding our hands off yesterday, we have now put paint on everything. So the block is back to its original red color. I actually put header paint on the header and my side pipe, which I know some of you like the rusty state, but I was not a fan, so I painted it black. A few parts painted black to make them look new. My Clifford 4-barrel intake is painted flat aluminum. I think it looks pretty good. And you got all the other parts painted red to match the motor. I know a lot of people paint the motor after they assemble it. Honestly, I don't have all the parts to assemble it right now, so I'm kind of just waiting on parts, so I figured I'd paint it while I have the chance. I think I got slightly high off paint fumes under here though, because I didn't have an exhaust fan, and I'm in a closed room, but stay tuned, more to come. So what's going on here is I'm about to resurface the walls of my cylinders using a flex hone, or dingle wall hone as many call it, and some sort of lubricant such as diesel oil, as I have in this Coffee Mate container. You do this so that the rings that you put on will seal against the cylinder walls. If you don't resurface it and the walls are still glazed, you're not going to get a good ring seal, you're going to have blow by, and the rebuild's just not going to do what you had in mind. Tonight I
resurfaced the cylinder walls. There's a little bit of ring ridge, but we're hoping we're going to get away with that with a dingle ball hone, and I think that turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. It looks semi-professional, but just waiting on parts, and I'm about to be heading to SEMA on Monday, so the thing's probably not going to be done till I get back, because I don't see myself finishing it tomorrow. But it's all in a day's work.
So let me give you a quick rundown of what we're doing here. So over here we have the Clifford Performance 4-barrel intake that I got instead of the 2-barrel that y'all saw in the last episode, and the Clifford Performance header that y'all saw with O2 bungs welded into each runner, so we can tune each individual cylinder and do direct port injection nitrous. In addition, there's a Holley 4-barrel that I'm going to be throwing on top of that intake, some low-car cables to control my throttle and transmission kickdown, all the brand new bearings and everything and rings that are going in for the motor rebuild. We're even putting spark plugs in that are heat range colder to help keep the cylinder temperature down and hopefully not melt through one of those cast original pistons. We'll see how that goes though. The main thing that's going on is my buddies at Competition Cam sent me a complete cam kit for this car. The cam kit includes the cam obviously and a completely brand new gear set for the timing, and lifters, valve springs, retainers, retainer clips, valve seals. And they even threw in some of their awesome new break-in oil that they have with the correct amount of ZDDP additive to properly break in your cam. That's important. But that's going to go in and give me a longer duration. At 50 with this new cam, it's got an intake duration of 218 and an exhaust duration of 226 with a lift of 493 on the intake side and 512 on the exhaust side, and a lobe separation angle of 111 degrees. In addition, their valve springs are a lot beefier and actually have a damper inside, and the seat pressure on these new ones are 109 pounds with an open pressure of 317 pounds, which will help me not to float the valves at higher RPMs. So that's really going to be the main thing that helps out this motor. But other than that, we're putting a new Melling oil pump on, a Wix oil filter. The original ignition system's going back on until we take it back up to Mike's, where it's going to get some MSD goodies. And my favorite part, the chrome valve cover. Should add at least 20 horsepower, I think. We'll see how it goes though.
Yeah, that chrome valve cover didn't fit, so you probably can't see it in the video, but all these little dents, yeah, had to hit it with a hammer. Valve springs were hitting the valve cover, and they're probably still hitting, but
had to notch out for the bolts.
It'll work.
Hack job.
I still got to run the throttle linkage and the transmission kick down, and there's a little bit of a gas leak right here on that fitting. But other than that, motor's in the car and it looks really good compared to the rest of the car. It's much too shiny. So we'll come back and y'all stay tuned. Sorry I couldn't get it running tonight, but that's how life goes sometimes. Oh well. All right. It's almost running. It's close. We're hearing signs of life. We're gonna see though. Hopefully we get to break in the cam and it runs at 2,000 RPMs for at least a few minutes, so it's kind of like we did it right. And we don't die from carbon monoxide, because we're in a closed space. The doors are open.
We can leave. You're gonna die.
Yep, I'm gonna die. It's okay. There we go. At this point, it was time to get everything on the car buttoned up and get it back on the road. We broke in the cam with no issues and changed the oil immediately after, just like you're supposed to. And there was really not anything to handle. Everything went pretty smoothly. And so at this point, it was time to take it back up to Mike's and put nitrous on it. But as some of you know, I was in the process of moving to California while we were putting this car back together, so I didn't really get to record any of it. So all I have for you is an intro video of the nitrous kit. But you can see more of that on an episode of Finnegan's Garage, so be looking out for that. Things are about to get interesting. Our buddies at Holly Performance hooked us up with an inline Sportsman fogger system for the Green Hornet. And the part number of this particular kit is 05040NOS. And it comes with everything from the 10-pound nitrous bottle to the brackets to mount it, even the label that goes on your bottle. And the thing about this kit is it's direct port injection, which is kind of amazing, and again, way too good for the Hornet. But this one actually comes with just 6 nozzles because it's designed for a 6-cylinder, and it comes with the nozzles that mix fuel and nitrous because this is a wet system. And also comes with the junction blocks, little filters, brackets to mount, a little bit of hose, the lines to run all your nozzles to the solenoids, and the lines to connect it to the feed from the car. It even comes with the solenoids for fuel as well as nitrous, and some wires, inline fuse, brackets for the solenoids, and a bunch of hose to run from the bottle to your motor. And all that is going to be put on this intake manifold that I've removed from the car, and I'm actually going to drill and tap each individual runner for those nozzles, and that way each cylinder will be able to be tuned individually for the amount of nitrous that's going to be going to it. It's kind of cool. Should work out. Really, the only thing you need is a drill and a tubing bender. I might recommend a drill press for actually drilling into the intake so you can get it perfect. But they actually even supply the tap that you're going to need, which is cool. But yeah, so that's going to go on the car, and then we're going to do nitrous burnouts instead of just regular burnouts, because everybody knows those are better. Alrighty, we'll see how this goes. Alright, so you can't really see too well. Sorry for the terrible video. But I'm recording this on my phone right before I leave to head to California. Have the Hornet loaded down. I stayed up all night, and look at that tire tuck. I'm kind of terrified that something bad's going to happen there, but we'll find out. Hornet is loaded down with all my worldly possessions and ready to run. Nitrous is installed because that's what you do for reliability on a road trip. I managed to keep the passenger compartment almost completely clear other than some snacks, and yeah, things are pretty much ready. I'm gonna fire it up and let it warm up for a little bit before I head out. As you can see, we have our nitrous switch installed and the whole system is ready to be used on the drag strip in Tucson at the zip tie drag. Let's see how easy she fires up. Oh, she's good as new. It's pretty impressive, honestly. So yeah, I'm prepared. That is for sure. Somehow we got everything on the car back together with literally no issues and got the nitrous installed and everything by midnight on Monday morning. I stayed up all night and packed the car, hit the road first thing Tuesday, and drove to Dallas where my buddies Aaron and Emily from Flying Sparks Garage live and spent the night at their place. Then I hit the road again the next day and drove all day and ended up driving straight through the night after a pretty funny phone call with my girlfriend to end up in LA on Thursday and in order to cruise back to Tucson with the guys from Roadkill on Friday. It was a crazy drive, something like 2,200 miles in less than 3 days of driving. But I made it to LA and no issues with the car. It was absolutely incredible and a fantastic experience. All right, so we're here at the meetup point for the cruise to Tucson, Arizona with the guys from Roadkill. I just cannonballed 2,500 miles or so, counting stops, in the Green Hornet with the freshly rebuilt inline 6 featuring direct port injection nitrous and a whole bunch of other performance goodies, and literally I didn't turn a wrench the entire trip. So that's kind of amazing, and that normally doesn't happen. But out here we have a bunch of other really cool cars. This is my buddy Aaron and Emily from Flying Sparks Garage. They just picked up this Nova and they're going to be road tripping it out to Tucson and hopefully not breaking anything, but I'll probably be working on it if it does break down. And then of course we have some Roadkill cars. There's the muscle truck sitting here. Everybody loves and knows this car. And then there's the general maintenance. And then we have a whole bunch of people. It's kind of awesome how many people came out to this event and are going to be road tripping with us. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Even my buddies from NorCal Garage are here with their Z and a really cool little what kind of pickup is this? Chevy Love. But yeah, I'm here with the Green Hornet and we're gonna make the first nitrous pass that this thing makes in Tucson and hopefully not blow this car up. We'll see what happens though. It should be fun.
And it has water.
Yeah.
So it should be fine.
It's running really good.
Chevy, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing can go wrong.
And I got a truck full of tools if it does break.
I guess I'm leading this whole program, so I guess you know how that's gonna go, right? This is gonna be pretty roadkill casual. It's gonna be very easy. We're just hopping on the 10 freeway and going. What? Oh, the directions of 605 down to the 10? Okay. See, I'm lost already.
As you can see, in front of me, there lies the muscle truck, the iconic square body step side C10, built by the guys at Roadkill. It's cruising in front of me on the cruise from LA to Tucson for the zip tie drags. I ended up meeting up with the guys and
I've been doing my best to catch up to the muscle truck and just recently caught up to them. The Hornet's been running really good, had no issues out of it whatsoever. Literally have not turned a wrench this entire trip. That's amazing. So yeah, we're on our way to Tucson, and we should be there by the end of the day, and then we're up for some racing, provided this rain stops. Yeah, good stuff.
He has the most epic AMC Hornet. It is the best.
One of the only AMC Hornets, so that's easy to be the most epic.
It's so good. So I've been cruising with him. I started the morning out in the muscle truck with Freiberger, and then I jumped in general maintenance because Alana and I switched seats. So I jumped in general maintenance with Mike Musto and Wesley Allison, and now after lunch I jumped in the Hornet with my friend Jacob. So I left Aaron and Max behind, and the poor guys had a blowout. 4 new tires, and they're back on the road.
They're good.
So
They'll be here before we know it.
yeah, we got ahead of the crew. So we are currently pulled off on the side of the road, waiting. The muscle truck and a bunch of other cars are behind us. So once I catch up, it'll be on like Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah.
I think we're like about 2.5 hours away
I think so, yeah. Not too far.
from Tucson Raceway.
So we're in Tucson, in the Green Hornet. I've driven this car 2,700 miles at this point in the past 4 days, but literally had basically 0 issues out of it. I think a door striker got loose. That's pretty much it, which is kind of amazing, and that doesn't happen. But we're here at the drag strip at Zip Tie Drags, and I'm about to go make a couple naturally aspirated passes before putting nitrous to it. I'm waiting on a flow tool to show up from another racer, so hopefully that happens so I can set my fuel pressure and not grenade my motor by not having the right amount of fuel in it when I put nitrous to it. But so far things have been pretty good, and we're gonna see what she does. So things are looking up.
Dude, you're in the staging lanes.
I am.
Is this going to be a nitrous pass?
Believe me, that's just a day at the race.
Naturally aspirated pass just to see what it's doing as a baseline since all of the stuff we've done to it. So the motor rebuild, all the performance parts, new ignition.
So this will be your first run down the track today?
First run down the track today.
Dude!
For sure, yeah.
Oh, after driving 2,200 miles?
2,700 miles now.
2,700 miles across the country.
Yeah. So we're gonna
You're
see
such
how
a
she does.
badass.
I think it's gonna do all right. I'm not worried about the naturally aspirated pass. I'm worried about the nitrous pass blowing something up.
Yeah. So if you watch Finnegan's Garage on YouTube, you can watch the whole build of this car, and it's awesome. He's got to move up. Crank her up, dude. Yeah. He's just special. It's gonna be awesome.
Remember that awesome flow tool that I showed you from Nitrous Supply? The thing we were going to use to set our flowing fuel pressure so we could literally simulate the nitrous system working. Well, we're in Arizona and I left that in Georgia. So what we have now is a, I don't know where this came from. Somebody loaned this to us. An engine vacuum slash fuel pressure gauge, which I'm sure is highly accurate. And we're going to use that to set the fuel pressure on the nitrous system so that Zach can get out of the 18-second zone. Zach? Everybody Zach?
Yeah. I'm Jacob, but it's been a long day, yeah.
Close enough. So you ran 1828.
Better than it was.
77.
Better than it was.
It's better than it
It was
was.
70 before.
Nothing we've done was a complete waste. Nothing. swear.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Debatable.
we'll set the fuel pressure, warm the bottle, go out there, get into 17-second territory. You're a hero.
I'm gonna try to leave with more RPM too. I think it might need that. Sure. So we might even do better. We'll see.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. All right. You ready?
Unfortunately, we never got to use the nitrous. It started pouring as I entered the staging lane, so we just went home for the night. Then we hit the road early the next morning to head back to LA with a really great group of people, and the road trip was phenomenal. The scenery was fantastic. The weather was beautiful, and I had Amy in the passenger seat. What more could I ask for? We had a great weekend out in Tucson, Arizona at the Zip Tie Drags, and after a while of driving along the desert, we decided we needed some roadside shenanigans in the dirt. So that's exactly what we did.
Okay, we're on the side of the road in probably Mexico. We're in Mexico, right guys? We're in Mexico.
Oh, yes! Oh, I think the Camaro's about to get it. Badass, dude. Such a good idea. That was badass.
All in all, the trip was a massive success. We took the Hornet over 3,200 miles in a virtually unproven build with a freshly rebuilt motor, and there's no way I could have done this on my own. I can't thank Mike Finnegan and Daniel Boshears enough for all the help they gave me at the last minute, my father Tim Davis for all the help he gave me in rebuilding the motor and putting the motor back in the car, James Hayner for coming over and helping clean parts and take video, my buddies Emily Williams and Eric Tonde for the videos they provided, and all of the people who came out and said hello at the event. You really make it what it's about. Thank you for watching the first episode of Sally's Speed Shop. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.
I understand what you're trying to do by making it look fast in the time lapse, but I'm just gonna play this normal speed. Oh, he's moonwalking now. What an idiot. But look at this.